You ready? Greetings, and welcome to my home in the city of Kennesaw, in the heart of Cobb County, Georgia, and in the southeastern region of the United States of America. In keeping with the traditions of this weekly staff introduction series created by our hostess with the mostest, Richard, as my pal John Oliver would say, I wanted to raise the bar a little bit with my own presentation. And since only a handful of our incredible team actually knows me, I was kind of hoping that this type of introduction would give you a little more insight into my background, my current activities, and what makes me tick. You know, my meaning of life. So, with your popcorn and the second beverage of your choice at your side, let's have a stab at this. The Meaning of Life, Part 1. Who begat who? C.S. Lewis once said, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. My younger brother Alan and I spent several years researching our ancestral lineage. We were navigating the daunting task quite swimmingly until we hit a hard roadblock in Wales. My great 9 generations back grandfather, Gabriel Folks Sr., was born in 1696 in Denbighshire, Wales, within the United Kingdom. Before the young age of 22, he rode a cargo ship from Wales to the United States and settled in Amelia, Virginia, and married Jerusha Elizabeth, who was 37 at the time. They had 6 children, and all together, and that started my lineage in the United States. He passed away in 1775, 79 years of age. His second child was Gabriel Folks Jr., who was born in 1720 and joined the Amelia Militia and fought in the Revolutionary War, making his way up the chain of command to colonel. He passed away at his home in 1793 at 73 years old. That's when we travel down through the generations from Colonel Gabriel Folks in Nottoway, Virginia, who begat his son Thompson Folks Sr. at Hawks Mill, Otter Creek in Lunenburg, Virginia, who begat his son Nathaniel Folks in Hickman County, Tennessee, who begat his son John T. Folks in Monroe County, Tennessee, who begat his son Henry Hardy Folks in Buena Vista, Mississippi, who begat his son Robert Gabriel Folks in Woodruff County, Arkansas, who begat his son William Eugene Folks Sr. in Monrovia, California, who begat his son and my father William Eugene Folks in Pulaski County, Arkansas. My dad married Angeline Folks in June of 1966 and settled in a small town named West Memphis, Arkansas. And that's where I was born. The Meaning of Life, Part 2, The Younger Years. We lived in a 3-bedroom house in West Memphis where me and my younger sister Carrie and my younger brother Alan all grew up. We attended Holy Cross Episcopal Church in West Memphis, where I sang in the choir and was an altar server. I attended Bragg Elementary School, grades 1 through 6, West Junior High School, grades 7 through 9, and West Memphis High School, grades 10 through 12. I played football and basketball for 12 years, and baseball and track for 11 years. During a rebound in a basketball game my senior year, I came down on someone else's foot and severely rolled my ankle, effectively putting the brakes on any collegiate athletics. I was vice president of the student council in my senior class, a 5th-year Beta Club member, and a member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I graduated in the top 10% of my class and went to the University of Arkansas, studying computer science, mathematics, and political science, and working with the Arkansas Razorbacks basketball team. While in college, I had the privilege of working with Tim Berners-Lee in 1988 and 1989 on the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, also known as HTTP, and the World Wide Web project, which at the time only had one method, the GET command, and what it did, it ran out and fetched HTML documents from other online servers. I was a leader of the Student Government Association and the Residents Interhall Congress while at the University of Arkansas. After college, I married Melissa Renee Carter, and then I had to go make some money. The Meaning of Life, Part 3, The Working Years. Being out of school since 1990, I have been blessed with only having 7 jobs, which I guess is not too shabby according to today's IT employment standards. I started off with my own computer consulting company called Wiltech, which I ran for 8 years until the cost of independent insurance kind of grew out of control. Then I had to start working for others. I was the manager of engineering for Eon Communications, a spinoff of ITT Alcatel. This is what brought me and my family to Georgia from the Memphis area in 2001. At Eon, my biggest accomplishment was writing the HTML and JavaScript client code that provided the availability for internet users to communicate with technical support teams from a web browser and dropping into a phone switch like phone calls and allowing the phone statistics occur as if it was a chat or an email was a phone call. Companies such as America Online and BH Photo in New York City used my code for technical support. I then went on to be the director of IT and development for STS UtiliQuest, an underground utility locating company. I was there for only 2 years and had over 30 IT offices across the country to maintain. The traveling killed me, and I grew pretty unhappy fairly quickly. Then one of my staff aug vendors had an opportunity for me to contract to Singular Wireless, working on some new cellular communications device made by a third party. I started the project as my first official project management role, which was a step down from director, but I was making more money, and began to plan the concept of using a tablet-like device to make phone calls and use the internet. I didn't even know who that third party vendor was. Then about 6 weeks later, I went in and the project was dramatically changed. They changed it from a tablet to using a small handheld phone-like device, and the birth of the original iPhone occurred. I was blessed to work on that project for 3 years and still have a working iPhone 1 today. After successfully working on the iPhone 3, I was offered an opportunity with the Department of Defense to close down Fort McPherson in Atlanta, Georgia, through the Base Relocation and Closure Act of 1995, also known as BRAC. Building a new data center for the United States Army Forces Command and the United States Army Reserves. And also deploying Exchange 2010 for 1.2 million Army users in personnel and theater. I spent 2 years off and on at Fort Bragg, North Carolina for that mission, as well as Fort Huachuca and Fort Belvoir, and got to travel to some pretty cool Army post camps and stations, and along the way learned a lot about the military way of life. After those missions were complete, I joined the PMO team at QBE, an Australian-based insurance company with several offices around the world, as the North American Infrastructure and Security Portfolio and Program Manager, managing and reporting on over 100 projects in the U.S. and a few around the globe. One of my major programs at QBE was dealing with the acquisition of 20% of Bank of America, which involved transitioning 2,500 resources from Bank of America to QBE, along with their assets, systems, software, and policies, and the build-out of 6 offices across the country for new resources. Following QBE in 2015, I joined the Enterprise PMO team here at WorldPay as a senior program manager on the ePMO leadership team. I manage Heritage WorldPay US's infrastructure and security portfolio of projects and programs, including the organization's PCI efforts until the company's acquisition of Vantiv gave me the opportunity to manage similar type projects for the combined company, and this is where I am today.
The Meaning of Life, Part 4, The Family Years.
I have truly been blessed with family. Our oldest daughter, Hillary, is 28. Her accomplishments have been numerous, like earning valedictorian for graduating class, seeing the Star Spangled Banner, and performing for 2 NCAA Liberty Bowls in Memphis, appearing on the Disney Channel and performing Disneyland in California, acting in many professional and community theater productions, and acting in several films, including Radio with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Ed Harris. She went on to Kennesaw State University, and now she lives in San Diego with her husband, Tony, and our 19-month-old granddaughter, Savannah. Tony serves in the U.S. Navy, and we're very proud of them all. Melissa and I have been certified and registered foster parents for many years, and have been blessed by fostering over 100 newborns, infants, and toddlers. Our second child, Zach, was adopted before he turned 2, having brought him home from the hospital right after birth. Zach just graduated high school and will be attending college in the fall. And his accomplishments include playing football for 14 years as a starting offensive lineman, and making his journey through the Cub and Boy Scouts, and participating in many other sports, activities over the years, like swimming, soccer, basketball, and baseball. Zach was invited to compete on the U.S. national football team, where he has been a returning athlete there since the 8th grade, playing at the University of Texas, University of California, and twice in the Pro Football Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. Zach finished his senior year recently and received the 2018 Coaches Award from his head football coach. Ella was born in 2011, and after 5 months of foster care in Louisiana, we went down to New Orleans and brought her home to Georgia. We were able to adopt her before she turned 2, and she is now 8 years old. She has started on the soccer team for several years. She swims and is a member of the Girl Scouts. Bennett, who we call Bam, short for Bam Bam, was born in 2014 and is now 5 years old. We were able to bring him home from the hospital as part of a short-term foster situation, but once the social workers and the courts became pretty sure he wasn't going back to his biological family, we decided to adopt him just before his 2nd birthday. He enjoys swimming, has played 3 seasons of flag football, and starts full pad American football tomorrow. He also starts his journey through the Cub Scouts starting this Saturday. So yes, 3 of my 4 children are adopted, and I would not change any of that for anything in the world.
The Meaning of Life, Part 5, The Activity Years.
Hobbies pick up in my life where family and work drop off for the day. I've had the opportunity to serve on several boards and nonprofits, as well as elected political positions. Some of my hobbies over the years include being very active in the West Memphis Junior Chamber of Commerce, where I served as the West Memphis chapter's vice president, chairman of the board, and was also nominated for Outstanding Young Arkansan with, at the time, Governor Bill Clinton. I received several awards while serving on that organization, including being awarded the Arkansas Eagle Award, which is the highest award given to someone within the Arkansas JCs in 1992 and 1993 back to back. During this time, I also served as the alumni advisor for the Marion Chi chapter of Sigma Phi Omega, my high school fraternity. I was awarded the Outstanding National Chapter Advisor in 1990 and 1992 by the entire National Convention. I also served on the National Board of Directors for 3 years. I served as a Cub Scout den leader for 3 years while Zach was a bear and a Weebelo, helping all 10 scouts in my den to follow the arrow of light and cross over to Boy Scouts at 10 and a half years of age. I helped lead the Cub Scouts to hike 72 miles individually, their last year as Cubs, and later became an assistant scout master for the Boy Scout troop for about 6 years. Coaching athletics has always been a passion of mine, having played sports for 12 years while growing up. I've coached air rifle teams, recreational and AAU competitive basketball teams from age 6 to the high school level, and then also football from the age of 3 to the high school level. I have served on several football association boards, including my son's high school football board of directors, and have been blessed to have been named Coach of the Year in 2008 in football, and continue coaching today my youngest son's football team, which is starting this week. Other hobbies include photography, videography, hiking, camping, piloting my unmanned aerial vehicle, also known as a drone. Enjoy doing that. I have a DJI Phantom 3 professional 4K drone. But perhaps the most involved hobby I still participate in is politics. I have volunteered on several senatorial and gubernatorial races in Arkansas and in Georgia, and served as staff on 5 presidential races, from working for Bill Clinton in Little Rock in 92 and 96, Al Gore in 2000, Hillary Clinton, then Barack Obama in 2008, Barack Obama in 2012, and Hillary Clinton again in 2016. I've been elected as a pledged delegate to 2 national conventions in 2008 and 2016, and served as campaign delegate whip in 2016. I have also served as the chairman of the Cobb County Democratic Party and on the state committee for the state party for many years, in which I still serve today.
The Meaning of Life, Part 6, Wrapping Up the Meaning of Life.
So, if we were all out somewhere and you just wanted to buy me something, which can occur, it would help to know some of my favorite things. This would include my favorite food is sushi, my favorite fruit is watermelon, my favorite vegetable is corn on the cob, my favorite author and book is J.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, and all the other books about Middle-earth. My favorite movie series is Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and It's a Wonderful Life. My favorite drink is Arnold Palmer sweet tea with lots of ice. My favorite color is hunter green. My favorite sport is American football. My favorite teams are Arkansas Razorbacks college football, the Atlanta Falcons professional football, and the Atlanta Braves baseball. And lastly, my favorite sound is the sound of my children's laughter. Now, hopefully, after watching this self-made documentary, you have a little better understanding of my life and what makes me tick. Feel free to get back with me on any comments, questions, issues, or concerns, and we can dig deeper into my past if you like. The bottom line is, thanks for watching what I call, from my perspective, my meaning of life.